Look, if folks have not heard of this story, my point is that it's not because of some cover up by, the liberal media or anything like that. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there were stories from when this story first broke in 2011. It was so horrific, it was such a house of horrors. There were plenty of stories in Philadelphia. There were stories in the Nation. There were stories in the Grio. I mean, the story was out there. My point is that, yes, if the national media has not been paying attention, it's not because this is an abortion doctor, in my view, Daniel. It's because of what you just mentioned. These were poor, black, sometimes immigrant women, the people who don't have voices in our society or whose voice is often muted. They were the victims in this. And our society tends not to care about the treatment of the less privileged of poor people in our society. And so when poor women are going to this awful clinic and having these horrible things happen to them, it's difficult for them to get attention because I do think this is, the media doesn't care about them. It's not because the media was somehow trying to protect an abortion doctor. Not that at all. I just think, because the victims here, in addition to, they were immigrant women. There are people, when was the last time we saw a story about the trials and tribulations of immigrant women and poor women trying to get health care? We don't care about them in our society. Our government doesn't care about them. Our policies, at least until, health care passed a few years ago, didn't care about them. And therefore, our media doesn't care about them.
Yeah, David, I mean, there's no question about that is, I think, probably the driving force behind why the conditions that people are exposed to in the lower strata of our society is not reported on, and I think it applies to this case as well. I think, look, I'll say this. It does raise the question to me in terms of, from a policy perspective and my personal views, not in terms of whether or not this is being reporting and whether the ongoing trial should be front page news, which I think it should be. I think there's also a case of, I think that the media outlets are concerned probably, and you might better know whether to confirm this or not, they're probably concerned about losing viewers if they reported on too many of the gory details here. And they pursue sensationalism when it is appealing by the viewers. But it does raise the question for me about, as a pro-choice person, I always thought to myself, after 24 weeks, I always said abortion for the whole 9 months. It's an inviolable right. But when you hear the stories that really a baby can survive after 24 weeks of pregnancy if it's delivered and not allowed to wither away, it does raise a question to me about where we draw the line at life, and the idea that the spinal cords are snipped. I mean, I know that in many cases that actually nationwide late third-term abortions are illegal at this point due to legislation that was passed in the 2000s. But I think that conservatives are within their bounds to make it to open it up as a discussion about abortion. I think.
Like I agree, and I think if they want to make a discussion about abortion and late-term abortion, third trimester abortion, I think that's fine. I just think too often conservatives, in their zeal to try to bring these issues, somehow see shadows where there are none. There is no media conspiracy, liberal media conspiracy, not to cover this because this involves abortion. That's just not that's not what's driving the media here. I think if anything, it's the media is not interested in paying attention to poor women, or dealing with issues about access to health care for women who have the least in our society.
And right, I mean that's right. I mean that's the ultimate hypocrisy of all this. That if you really care about situations like Dr. Gosnell not happening again, then you want to make sure that there is primary care available for all, and that there's not a system where people that, let's say, depend on Medicaid or don't qualify for Medicaid are turning to some of these sort of back alley folks. And that's why organizations like Planned Parenthood that do provide abortions and other reproductive and sexual health services to low-income women in particular are so important, and yet they're under attack. The legitimate organizations like Planned Parenthood are under attack.
I agree. Sorry, but that was also my alarm that went off there. So that means it's time to take a break. Time Time to hit a commercial. Daniel Marin's great stuff as always. Coming up on the other side. And by the way, folks, if you've missed any part of the show, and what an amazing show this one has been, you want to go to our Take Action News TV on YouTube. There are video clips that are posted there. You can also sign up for our podcast on Stitcher or on iTunes. Take Action News. Just put in the search for that. It'll pop right up. And then with one click, you'll get the show delivered to your mobile device and be able to listen whenever you want. A couple interesting debates we have this particular show. Elliot Spitzer and Rob Kaplan talking about Wall Street reform. And then, of course, a big interview with Mumia Abu-Jamal, convicted killer of a police officer in Philadelphia. A lot of people believe that he got railroaded and that he is innocent. Prosecutors, everybody's looked at the evidence in the courts, say that the case has been a slam dunk. But nonetheless, interesting interview with him. And you can always check out that on our podcast or our YouTube channel, Take Action News TV. Coming up on the other side of this break, Daniel Marins with How It Should Be when our program continues.